Rest, O Lord our God, the soul of this your servant, Mike, in accordance with this promise. Enter his name in the book of rest of your glorious kingdom. Grant him a portion and lot in your eternal tabernacles. And if he has sinned, grant him forgiveness by your eternal word and free his soul from all sins. And bless all your people so that your dominion is glorified by all your faithful, now and always, and unto the ages of ages. Amen.
Michael Asadur Topalian was born September 1, 1942 in Beirut, Lebanon. He was the eldest child of Asadur and Marguerite Topalian. He went to Surpnishan Elementary School and Hovagimian Manugyan Secondary School. When Mike graduated high school, he went on to Haigazian University for 1 year and then transferred to American University of Beirut, where he graduated in 1965. While Mike was attending the university, he would often model for the art students in order to make $50 per month. He even recruited his very good friend Birch, telling him all you had to do was pose and you made money. Even then, Mike was a savvy businessman. After graduating from AUB, American University of Beirut, he traveled by boat to Egypt and then to Italy. And he was in Italy, he hailed a taxi and asked to be taken to the train station. After the taxi driver had taken him around and around the city, Mike found out the train station was walking distance from the port. He would always chuckle telling us the story and would get upset that he was fooled by the driver. From there, he continued his journey from Italy to Sweden to work in a factory where they canned sweet peas for the summer. While in Sweden, Mike arranged to continue his education by obtaining a master's degree and doctorate in urban planning from the Lund University. In 1967, he met Lena Ringstrom. On February 14, 1970, their only child, Nicholas, was born. Mike returned to Lebanon in 1971 and opened his first business, an industrial baby diaper factory. This was the first factory of this sort in Lebanon. Unfortunately, in 1973, a bomb destroyed the machinery at his factory, at which time he had to close down due to the war in Lebanon. In 1976, Mike went on to work for a Japanese firm, Kubota, for 2 years. He lived in Greece and worked as their liaison officer. That office eventually closed. He was transferred to London and continued to work for this firm for an additional 10 years. Mike would travel between Japan, Africa, and much of the Middle East, helping to set up water piping distribution. In 1986, Mike made his journey from London to California to be close to his youngest sister Annie and her family. Once he settled in Los Angeles, he partnered with his brother-in-law Harut and Harut's brother Harai, and together they opened Tuxedos by Novex. After many years of this partnership, Mike went on to open up his own store, Tuxedos by Mike. Mike was very proud of his tuxedo business. He would have many famous customers walk through the door and would not know who they were. He almost kicked some out of his store because of their eccentric look. Mike was funny in that way. He also had many politicians and studios as part of his clientele. One very special customer he had is ABC 7 entertainment reporter George Pinocchio. Mike and George became very good friends, and Mike often invited George and his wife Erin over for family gatherings. He would provide George a suit for the Academy Award, Oscars, for over 20 years. One of Mike's most proudest moments is when George on TV that this suit was provided by Tuxedos by Mike. As a young boy, Mike enjoyed fishing, going into the mountains, and collecting fossils. He really loved archaeology. He also loved animals. He would find stray cats and dogs on the street and would bring them home. He would threaten his parents that he would not return home if they got rid of the animals. Mike even once brought a kitten home whose eyes were not even open yet. He and his younger sister Lucy found toy baby bottles which they would put milk into and feed the little kitten. When Mike was younger, his sisters would tell a story about how he needed to be bribed to take them out to the movies. He would tell them the only way he would take them is if they paid for his movie ticket. Mike was also very passionate about his Armenian heritage. He loved Armenian music, especially the Kohar Symphony Orchestra. He was part of the AGBU Scouts from a young age and eventually became a scout leader. He would also attend jamborees in Africa and Cyprus. He loved to swim in the Mediterranean Sea all summer, as well as go camping. As Mike grew older, his hobbies became more expensive as well. Mike enjoyed going to the casinos. He was very fond of playing Texas Hold'em poker. He would even record of his winnings and losings. He eventually lost interest and only stuck to slot machines. He would have outings with his sisters to San Manuel Casino. If he lost, which was often, he would play a song in the car on his way back home about the dark days of winter and not to despair as good days will come. That was Mike trying to be an optimist about his gambling habit. Mike was a great, kind, giving and eccentric man. He loved his family and friends very much. He adored his nephew Jack and nieces Tamar, Lisa and Vicky. They all had a special bond with Mike. In different ways, Mike had a special place in his heart for his nieces and nephew's children, Wyatt, Shane, Matthew and Isabella, whom he always treated as if they were his own grandchildren. They brought him unlimited joy and laughter. He would always try to find a reason to bring them toys or give them money just to make the kids happy. He always enjoyed having people around him, and his house was the common venue of many family gatherings over the years. In June 2020, Mike was diagnosed with early onset of Alzheimer's disease. He continued to live independently, all while trying to run his business. On December 7, 2020, after running home from work, Mike took his car and ended up getting into a solo motor vehicle accident. Mike was hospitalized for 5 days and released. He was readmitted into the hospital on December 16, 2020. On Christmas Day, December 25, Mike was diagnosed with COVID-19, which he contracted from the hospital. Mike passed away on January 8, 2021, after his 15-day battle with COVID, while listening to his favorite Kohar Symphony Orchestra. Mike was very kind, loving, and giving person, and will be missed by all. Archangel Michael was very powerful, and that's why his name is a question, who is like that? He was almost like God in his power. So the church believes that there are two archangels on earth and billions of angels, Gabriel and Michael. And also the church believes that there are three different levels of angels. First we have the Michael and Gabriel and the billions of angels, as I said. And then you have the throne angels. The throne means the seat of the chair of the king, the leaders of this world. So the church believes that there are special angels who are with the leaders to make sure that this planet is being governed in the right way. Although sometimes we have unjust leaders, but this doesn't mean that God is out of control, because the angels are actually the thrones. And then we have the two archangels, the ones that have 6 wings, seraphims and cherubims, the ones who are with God all the time. And in the presence of God, they cover their faces, they cover their body and their feet and legs in the presence of God out of reverence. That's what they do. They are always with you. So that's why during Badarak, when we are going to bless the wafer, the nishkar, and the wine to turn into the body and blood of Jesus Christ, we ask for those two angels to open the gates of heaven, so that the blessings of God can come down to the Holy Spirit and transform the wafer and the wine into the body and blood of Jesus Christ. So please, because in a few moments we're going to hear beginning Jerusalem, Abu Jerusalem, where Michael is. Abu Jerusalem is the heavenly kingdom, and it describes that in the heavenly kingdom there are angels waiting for the soul of Michael. And we believe that in heaven it's like the same situation in the manger, the Masur, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem. That manger became like the heavenly kingdom, because there was love, peace, and joy of the Holy Spirit. And we believe that in the Abu Jerusalem, Michael is enjoying the unending compassion and love of the Heavenly Father, the peace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the joy of the Holy Spirit. I pray that God
God would give you the blessed assurance that He is in heaven, where there is no suffering, torture anymore, where there is only the joy of the Holy Spirit. I don't think we have to see those but sometimes life is a gamble because always we are facing choices to do or not to do. That's why Shakespeare wrote to be or not to be. And we struggle between light and darkness. Sometimes people choose darkness over light, but we know that our Lord Jesus Christ is light of light. God is light, and from that light came Jesus Christ, the unborn, who was born for us 2,000 years ago. I really believe that Michael is enjoying the eternal light of Jesus Christ in heaven. He is enjoying, and from heaven He is watching you all, praying for you, blessing you. May God bless His precious soul and give you all the comfort of the Holy Spirit. Bless, O Christ our God, the earth of the servant of God. He was made out of the earth, and according to your command, He returns to the earth. All the other Jam Thomas Thomas Saraj Kaisuri, Evisha Sasi Homer Yavantani, all parts of the Somali. Bless, O Christ our God, the earth of the servant of God, Michael. He was made out of the earth, and according to your command, He returns to the earth. Ortutul Asvazai, Itzo Mausori. Se por percin am vapor e portfo e popul servo. Amen. Yaz knatzes mit canabares maujan der uya yevara shotya ho pots na la canabar e vigyas and the Holy Spirit. Amen.